Hello everyone, I am Dilanjali Madhusha. My basic degree is chemistry. Now I am working as a scientific officer in Sri Lanka Atomic Energy Board. Today I am going to present my research work on the radioactivity status and spatial distribution of anthropogenic cesium-137 in the coastal environment of Sri Lanka. Here is the content of my presentation. First, I would like to give a background of this research, introduction part, methodology, finally results, conclusion, reference, and finally acknowledgement. Background. In this research, we analyze the anthropogenic or man-made radionuclides. Actually, this anthropogenic radionuclide release into our environment several ways. One is a global fallout. The fission product whose primary source in the ocean is a fallout of the nuclear weapon testing. In the period of the 1950s, 1960s, since 1945, many nuclear explosion has happened. So you can see the number of the nuclear explosions. These all are anthropogenic radionuclides and gamma emitters and still available in remaining in our environment. And this one is this nuclear weapon testing, other one is the authorized discharge from the nuclear facilities and other licensed facilities. There and accidental release. This anthropogenic radionuclides enter into the environment by accidental release also. And in 1957 there was a nuclear reactor fire, and the Chernobyl, very famous accident in a 1986 Chernobyl nuclear power plant accident, and recent one is the Fukushima Daiichi Japan nuclear power plant accident. These anthropogenic radionuclides long half-life and high biotoxicity. So it have a potential effect on the marine environment as well as the human beings. When we consider Fukushima nuclear power plant accident, it is very recent one. This released the four major, actually three, cesium-137, 134, iodine and xenon. But cesium-134 have 2 years of the short half-life, actually 2 years of half-life, and the iodine and xenon is a very short half-life. But cesium-137 have a very long half-life, 30 years of half-life. And as well as around 100 of nuclear power plants are expected to build in Asia Pacific region in next 10 years. This map you can see the number of the nuclear reactors operation in the world and the Asia region. So this all reason drawing attention to import of the monitoring the marine environment in this region. Due to this all reason we established a comprehensive monitoring program for anthropogenic radionuclides. Then I will give a brief introduction of our research part. The spatial distribution of the radionuclide differs from one region to another, and it depends on the variation of source inputs, dispersion, mixing and transport of radionuclides in the Earth's ocean and seas. Actually, this radionuclide with a long half-life, as I mentioned earlier, remain in the environment for long period, and this transfer to the food webs and have a significant impact on the environment as well as the humans. So it has been necessary to establish a baseline level and conduct a regular monitoring to enable comparison of any possible contamination in the future. So this objective of this project is to measure and study the activity concentration in cesium-137 and 134 selected location around the coastline and assess the potential impact of the radioactivity release from this region. For this, we collect the marine water sample along the Sri Lanka coastline, and sampling location was selected to cover coastal area as uniform as possible, and each sampling point located approximately 1 kilometer away from the shore, and sampling period is 2019. For these gamma emitters detectors, we use the high pure germanium gamma detectors. First image you can see the setup, and second image you can see the shielding. For Genie 2000 software package we use, and counting time was 20 hours. and the test method was validated using the standard reference materials. The concentration is very low in the cesium. Radionuclide concentration is very low. It is a challenge to accurately determine the cesium level in the seawater sample. So we have collected 100 liters of huge amount of the large volume of the seawater sample, and we filtered at the location and acidify for the preservation. We use the pre-concentration method, AMP. We called it ammonia phosphomolybdate, used for pre-concentration because of the low concentration to get the accurate concentration. And AMP have a very high selectivity for cesium because Kd value is very high, so it is not affected by other ions normally found in the sample because Kd distribution coefficient value is very high. Here I have outlined the method. Filtered seawater sample was transferred to the plastic water bath and pH was adjusted to below 2 using the HCl prevent the AMP dissolution. Actually, co-precipitation take place has happened below the 2 pH should be less than the below the 2. Then we stir around after pH adjust, we add the AMP slurry and we stir around half an hour, then keep it to settle down. The precipitate settle down the bottom of the container. We keep it around 24 hours. The supernatant was removed by the siphoning and the residue was centrifuged and do the purification. Then after rinsing 3 times of using deionized water, the residue was dried in oven at 2 hours at the 60 degree and the resultant precipitate was dried and packed in the specific container called GI geometry and do the counting, gamma counting. For this method verification, I use the proficiency IAEA proficiency testing sample, activity around 2000 becquerel per cubic meter and diluted in 50 liter of seawater and spike known amount of spike and measure the value. We can obtain more than the 90% of recovery, so we can verify this method to get the good accurate results. Then results. The radioisotope cesium-137 was detected, but cesium-134 was detected. It means it is, I mentioned earlier, it is 2 years of the half-life. It is already decayed, so we couldn't detect it. But cesium-137 we detected. Its range 0.33 becquerel cubic meter to 0.94 becquerel per cubic meter, and average is 0.73. The variation in the cesium-137 activity concentration in seawater may be due to the factors such as scavenging to sediment, biochemical process, primary productivity prevailing in the region. And for assess the radiological risk, we analyzed our data using ERICA tool software. There is a tool called ERICA, and the highest concentration of cesium-137 in seawater and the sediment were used to radionuclide parameter with a dose limit 10 microgray per hour, and here is the results. The results indicate that the cesium-137 concentration does not significantly affect on our marine environment biota. And then we assess the published data for the Indian Ocean location adjoining Sri Lanka coast. So last 3 data we analyzed at our laboratories, and other data I collected from the other published data, and we assessed the data. Many publication implies that the concentration of cesium-137 in the surface water appears to decrease exponentially with the time, and this study also shows good agreement with the recent publication suggest. You can see this graph decline trend of the cesium-137 concentration, and this is also implies that there are no new significant inputs of the cesium-137 in the study area. And we calculate the effective half-life of the surface water. We can find that it is around 50 years. The average is 50. It's range from 30 to 70 years in the surface withdrawal all monitoring areas. The first monitoring was conducted in 2012, comparing the monitoring the cesium-137 activity concentration from 2012 to 2019 implies that a downward trend during this period. Apart from fallout, global fallout, there has no new input from any source, including the operation of nuclear power plants in Sri Lanka coast. The result confirmed that dominant source of the anthropogenic radionuclide in the marine environment is only global fallout. These results indicated that cesium-137 content do not significantly affect the marine biota because the dose rate were still below from the established dose rate 10 microgram per hour. The results will be useful as an international conference source on the average level of cesium-137 radionuclides in the surface water of the coastal environment, so that any further contribution. Here is the few reference I have mentioned. Acknowledgement. I would like to thank Gamma Spectroscopy Laboratory and Life Science Division of Sri Lanka Atomic Energy Board for providing all assistance for sampling and sample analysis of this research. And I would like to thank International Atomic Energy Agency for supporting this study through Regional Cooperation Project IAEA RAS 7028. Thank you.